Hey everybody, Jimmy here with the Trucker's Log. It is Thursday, August the 15th, 2019. And I know my last video I promised you guys some kind of like review videos on my experience here with Schneider, being an IC with Schneider. And this is one of those videos. And it comes at a good time because the 26th is my last day. So I thought I'd better get on the ball and make these if I was going to. I guess it's a better time than any to go ahead and get these out of the way. I want to kind of break it down into like 3 different videos, and hopefully I'll get these done before the 26th. But if I don't, I can do them later, I guess. But the first thing I want to talk about is the lease itself, and what I went through to get that lease, and how that worked out in the end and everything else. Basically, I did a no money down lease. They run a simple credit check on you, and from what I was at the time I did this, I had a pretty good credit score, and still do, but it was a little better back then, which is only a year and a half ago. So, but it went down a few points for some stupid reasons. But I talked to some guys that had a lot lower credit score than I did, and they still got approved. So I don't think your credit can be in the garbage, but I think if it's a little low, it doesn't really matter to be approved for the no down payment lease. As you know, I got a 2015 Cascadia Evolution. It's a 10-speed, just your average truck. Mine did have the electric or the battery APU, which worked great the first year I had it, and then as the batteries got older, the air conditioner started it just didn't last as long. Now it lasts for about an hour and a half and it shuts off, so I don't even use it anymore. But anyway, the lease itself, it was very easy to get. When they say no money down, they mean that. I mean, I put no money out of pocket. In fact, they even rented me a car. They even rented a car for me to come from my house down to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where I picked the truck up. No problems really. You have some other expenses besides just the truck payment. They're not like terrible, but there are some expenses you should probably be aware of. You've got some insurance. Insurance is that you have to buy bobtail insurance, things like that. If you ruin a load for whatever reason, you know, you got insurance for that. It's really reasonable. There's oh gosh, I'm trying to think now. I should have wrote this down, I guess. I just wanted to get this over with and let you guys know about it. There's several other things. Anyway, it all totaled up to about another $130 a week. So my truck payment was $750 a week. My additional items were like $130, and then I put $216 a week into a maintenance fund. So that was my monthly bills before I did anything else. Before I bought any fuel, monthly. That's my weekly. Before I bought anything else, that's what I had. I had to do enough revenue to cover those things there. So I rounded it up and everything and rounded it out, and I just came up with like $1,100, $1,150, I think, something like that. So I knew that, you know, the first $1,200 of every week I knew was just to the truck. Now I know a lot of you are thinking, my God, that's unreal. That's such a high payment. Well, boys and girls, they're higher now. Now that Schneider's working on the 2020s and the 2021s, Freightliners, they're even higher. So yeah, $750 a week is ridiculous. It really is. I mean, you can buy a decent used truck for $70,000, $80,000, and you know your payment, depending on your credit, how much you put down, you know, your payment can be anywhere from the $1,000 to the $1,500 range a month. So I'm paying $750 a week. So my truck payment was running $3,000 a month just for the truck payment. It's ridiculous. But if you don't have a lot of cash on hand to where you can go buy a truck straight out on your own, or maybe your credit's not good enough, or maybe you just don't want to be responsible for a a 5, 6, 7 year note, this is a way you can get into your own truck. And I say that with a grain of salt. This is a way for you to get into a truck. It's not the most ideal thing in the world, but it worked good for me, and I really don't have any regrets. I mean, yeah, that truck payment every week is kind of hard to swallow sometimes, and there were some weeks where I didn't make it, for whatever reason. I mean, maybe weather, maybe I took off, maybe, whatever. And there's things you can do for that. Some people elect to put. I knew a guy. This is what he told me. Now I'm just going on what he said. His payment was about like mine, like $1,100 a week or something like that. So what he did is he put an extra $120 a week into an escrow account. Every 10 weeks he'd take a week off. So every 2.5 months he took a whole week off, and his truck payment and everything was taken care of. Now, he didn't produce any revenue that week, so he didn't make anything, of course. And we don't get paid vacations here because we're independent contractors. But at least you could go somewhere, you could take a week off and go somewhere with your family or whatever like that, and at least know that when you get back you weren't in the hole, $1,000 or whatever. So there's things you can do with that. Schneider will take care of that for you if you want them to. You just tell them how much an additional to put back. Another way you can do it is they have your direct deposit. You can have your checking account as your main account, have your money, but then you can have a percentage or a specific amount deposited into another account, like say a savings account or another checking account entirely. And you could use that then for your escrow to pay, for weeks that you want off or days that you want off. So there's ways to do it and everything, and it just depends on how you want to run. I mean, I've run pretty hard, but I didn't run ridiculously hard. I mean, I know some guys that are out here just burning the pavement up. They hardly ever go home, and stuff. And that's not why I got into this. I didn't, I could have got a company job and done that. I was off at least one day a week, every week. And sometimes I was off 2 days a week. Hell, there was a couple times I took 4 days off, and the way to do that is to just keep your eye on the load board, and when you see some good high paying loads come up, go ahead and snag them. And even if they're not ideal, because what they'll do is they'll set you up to be able to take some time off because they pay well. Just keep your eye out for that. But the lease program now at the end of the lease, as I discussed in my other video, I had a choice of I could release this truck, lease this truck again. I could lease a new truck. I could walk away, or I could bring in my own truck from an outside source. I checked with Schneider about leasing this one again, and because it's now got over 200,000 more miles than it had on it before, actually more than that, but the monthly maintenance contribution would go up because it's more likely that something's going to break. I guess that makes sense. And the payment would stay pretty much the same, and they would do it for 12 months. Actually, I think it works out to be 55 payments. So it's actually a little more than a year. 52 payments. Yeah, a little more than a year. And at that point in time, the reason for that is they said, then that would get you down to where I only owed, I think I would only owe like 20,000 would be the balloon note on the truck if I chose to buy the truck at the end. Again, I could have leased this truck again and then walked away at the end of a year. I could have done that. But like I said, my payments would have gone up because of the maintenance contribution. So looked at a new truck. Okay, let's do the numbers on the new truck. Well, the new truck, the maintenance contribution isn't as much because it's full warranty bumper to bumper. In fact, I even wonder why you need maintenance contribution. But anyway, at least for that period of time that you have bumper to bumper, which isn't long, but it is something. But however, the new trucks have gone up because Freightliner did a little redesigning to their trucks, and I guess they think they really changed something, whereas they really didn't. But the trucks are a lot more money now, and my payment would have gone up about another $130 a week. So, that, you add that adds up really quick. I mean, $520? I don't know. No, 130, whatever it is. Yeah, $520 a month. That's $500 in additional revenue, and I just didn't want to do it. So, what they do, you have money in your maintenance account. So when your lease is up, you turn the truck in, they do a complete inspection of the truck. And I've heard different stories there. I've heard some of them are really bad. I've heard some of them they don't really care, whatever. They evaluate what damage you've done to the truck, what it needs to be repaired. They repair that out of your maintenance account. Then they hold that money. I love this part. For some reason, from the day you turn the truck in, they hold your money for 45 days. Yeah, 45 days. They just hold on to that money. And when I asked why, they said, well, just in case something else comes up. And I thought, well, that sounds strange, because if you do an inspection and you find A, B, and C is wrong, and you correct A, B, and C, what else is there? And I didn't really get an answer for that. Not anything that made any sense. I got kind of like, I don't know. I didn't really get a good answer for that. So what I did, my SFI rep, that's Schneider Finance, my SFI rep actually froze my account back in the middle of July. So my 45 days started from the middle of July. So when I end the 30th, well, come the 31st of August, will be 45 days. So I should get mine a little bit sooner. There'll still be a week or two, but it's better than 45 days. I don't know if that's something they do for everybody. I don't even know if we're supposed to do that. That's just what my rep told me we were going to do, so that I could get my money sooner. I've got some family issues that I really need that money, and that's what I told him. I said, part of the reason I'm not re-upping this is because I need that money, and I need the time to go take care of some things. So anyway, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how the lease program works. As far as length, duration of the lease, I only did 18 months, which turned into 21 months. 20 months, I'm sorry. Turned into a 20 month. I'm not really sure why. There's all kinds of other fees and things I guess they tack onto it. But one thing I can say about Schneider, they're pretty much on the up and up. If you call and you get numbers from a rep and he says, your truck payment's going to be this, this, and this, and everything else, it will be that. It will be that. Now, you might not know why it's that until you get into it. There's going to be a bunch of stuff that's added into that, but the figure he gives you already accounts for that. Anything after that is, anything after that is up to you. If you want to add, like all these other insurances that I was talking about, you can add all that stuff if you want to. You don't have to. I think there's some you have to have, like the bobtail insurance. I think you have to have that. Some of the other stuff is it's not mandatory. So you'll look at that when you go down to orientation, and they'll walk you through everything, and they're pretty good about that. Again, I have no problems and no issues with SFI so far. Now, if they dick me around on my money and I end up not getting my money for 2 months, then I'm going to have a difference of opinion then. But, I'm only going on the man's word and what he told me. As of right now, that's all I got to go on. So hopefully it's what he says. Everything else has been, so I can't imagine that it would change then, but it could. But that's about it. If anybody has any questions on the lease program, just the lease portion, because I'm going to do other videos on the rest of it. But if you have any questions on the lease portion of a Schneider IC Choice lease, let me know. Drop me a message down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions if I can. And I guess that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and try to do another video real soon on just the choice board itself, my experience with that and everything, and we'll go from there. So in the meantime, you people watch out for the crazies, because they're everywhere, and we'll catch you real soon.